Good morning, good morning. Lady Victoria here with Victoria School of Etiquette, where we offer a solution to your etiquette dilemmas. Happy Monday, everyone. Um, a few adjustments here. Okay. All right, we're live in the studio on this morning. Thank you all so much for being here. Um, I am your etiquette educator and your worthy life coach, broadcasting to you live this morning from the great windy city of Chicago. You know, Chi-Town is what we like to call it. We are the best in the Midwest, and it's cold in the Chi on this morning. I think the temperature is like 3 degrees. So we're not below zero like we were over the weekend, but it's still cold enough. And we still have a bountiful amount of snow, the bulk of which we got last weekend, and then got some more throughout the week on last week. But we are live. We are here this morning. And I want to thank you for being a part of our platform on this morning. I'm going to delve right into our subject on this morning. But I want you to feel free to share your comments in the comments section below. Feel free to share your comments. Listen, I want to talk about, I got this one entitled this one, A Quick Review is Manners. I get asked questions all the time about etiquette. What is etiquette? What is manners? There's a difference. What are protocols? I get asked questions all the time about etiquette, dining manners, social etiquette, netiquette, what have you. I've gotten asked questions about, is there such a thing as umbrella etiquette? Is there such a thing as elevator and escalator etiquette? And my tagline is, etiquette is a way of life. It's a part of our lives. It's in everything we do, whether we realize we are doing it or not. But I want to address this question on this morning, the difference between etiquette and manners. It is so important. Like I said, it is something that we do and we practice all the time, whether we realize that we are doing it or practicing it or not. Some of us do it better. Some people may do it well. Some people not so well. Etiquette varies. Manners vary across the board, from one side of town to another, from one state oftentimes to another, regions, and of course in different parts of the world. So let's just say that when you're talking about etiquette, you're talking about the principles surrounding manners. Etiquette are the principles or the protocols surrounding manners. Manners is the carrying out of the etiquette principle. And oftentimes the example that I give is that when you walk into a room and there are other people there, you're the one to say hello. You introduce yourself to others that are already in the room. You're not waiting for someone necessarily to come over and to speak to you, but as you enter into the room, you introduce yourself to others as you enter into your room. Another universal example, of course, is the infamous handshake. It is acknowledged and it is universal all over the world. Here in the United States, we do the handshake, handshake web to web. I've done that example before. When you're shaking a person's hand, is web to web. But back in ancient Rome, they would grasp by the forearms, and that's how they greeted each other. And we know that in Eastern countries, in Asia, Japan, places like that, they bow. That is a universal greeting. It is done all over the world, but it is recognized and it is accepted worldwide. Those are all manners because they are carrying out the etiquette principle of greeting one another. The purpose of doing that is to acknowledge another person's presence and to show respect for them, So that's what the principle is. That is the etiquette principle. And then actually carrying out the handshake is the manners behind it. So it doesn't matter if you're in the United States or you are in another country, whatever their standard greeting is, That's what you follow through. That's what you carry out. That is the manner that you carry out. So we know that here in Western civilization, oftentimes we credit Miss Manners herself, Miss Emily Post, with bringing manners actually to the Western world. Well, it matriculated over here because Emily Post did not live in the United States. She did not live in the United States, but it was her bringing manners again to the forefront because manners began way back in Egyptian civilization. You heard me talk about that one before by the visor at that time. Ptolemy introduced it over 3,000 years ago, many years ago. So manners and etiquette is not new. It's been around almost since the beginning of time, but it was given a name, a shape, and a form many years ago when Ptolemy, when he took the young men that were in the palace and groomed them for proper behavior as they were to receive the various diplomats and kings and other people from other countries. So he groomed them in how to speak, how to sit, how to walk, how to talk, how to eat, how to greet one another, what to wear. Everything that we have in place today, he had then in that ancient civilization and in that ancient time, and we carry those things out today. Good morning. Thank you for being a part of our broadcast. So again, we give all of so much of our credit to Emily Post, and we have her to thank actually for the manners that we carry out today and for setting a standard that we follow. There are many, many others that have come along behind her. Her grandchildren, great grandchildren run the Emily Post Institute on today on the principles that their grandmother, great grandmother set in place, and it evolves over time. Just like we evolve in various areas, we evolve in medicine, we evolve in society, we evolve in technology, we evolve as human beings. And so, as we do so, etiquette, manners, the manners evolve along with us. But the again, the principle is the standard, and it is the golden plate, and it is always in place. That doesn't change very much. You may have some new principles that come into effect to mirror the society that we're living in today and the things that we do today, but the carrying out of that principle stays the same. So let's just look at three of the tenets of etiquette. We're going to start with respect. And we know that respect is a feeling, it can be an emotion, but it's also demonstrated again by our actions and our words. It is demonstrated by the carrying out of how we show respect to people. So you can be respectful to a person, you can be disrespectful to a person, but you want to remain the same. You want to remain even across the board, whether you know the person or not. It's just respectful oftentimes to open the door for someone that's approaching the door just behind you. So, or just in front of you, depending upon your pace. If you arrive at the door first, then you open the door. That's just a sign of consideration and respect. We're crossing over one of the tenets into another, respect and consideration. So you want to be respectful for those that are around you. You want to be respectful in your daily actions and relationships with people, refraining from demeaning people or belittling people. Good morning. Thank you for joining the broadcast on this morning. You want to put aside your prejudices and your thoughts when you are oftentimes in the company of others. You are an opinion of one, as are they. But you have to know when your opinion doesn't matter so much. So you can't be so big-headed about yourself and what you think that you're just going to delve on and push your opinion and your thoughts on others. That is disrespectful. Respect is something that should always be shown, especially in all situations. I can't even narrow it down and say especially in this or that, but in all situations, you should show respect across the board. If you have self-respect, okay, for yourself, that is just as important as respect that you have for others. So you're not thinking of yourself higher than another person. You value yourself just as much as you should value the next person. Okay. I'm sorry, you should value the next person. I said that backwards. You should value the next person just as much as you value yourself. Let's go on to the next tenet, which is consideration. Consideration is about having empathy for another person. The key to consideration is thoughtful behavior. Just be mindful of what you're doing. Be mindful of what you're saying. Be mindful of how you're carrying things out. Good morning, Sister Rita. God bless you as well. Making others feel comfortable around you. It's considerate. Being considerate of other people's, refraining from saying something that you know might hurt another person's feeling, or refrain from saying something that you might know would be inappropriate at that time. Perhaps it's not the time to voice your opinion. Perhaps it's not the time to talk about things in an ill manner. That's not the surrounding. That's not the environment for that. The last one that we're going to address this morning is just honesty. Plain and simple, just telling the truth. We don't need to make up excuses or reasons as for why we didn't do a thing, why we didn't carry a thing out, why it didn't happen. You don't need to give a long laundry list of everything that happened on your day that prevented you from keeping a commitment. You don't need to make up anything. You don't need to go through everything. Just say that you were not able to make it. If you were to be at a dinner party, at a gathering, attending a wedding, attending some function, and something came up at the last minute, you don't have to make up a story about it. Just honestly say the babysitter didn't show up. If in fact the babysitter did not show up, your child got sick at the last minute. Something else prevented you from going. Just being honest. Okay. Sometimes being honest may seem like that you're being rude. So you gauge the level of truth that you release in the moment. Right. So if you were to be at a dinner party or some engagement or something like that, and you found that you were not able to be there, you were not able to carry out what it was that you said that you would do. So you don't need to make up a whole big old thing about, well, what had happened was, and then this happened, and then that happened, and all of that. Just simply state the truth. I know I committed to being at the dinner party, but I'm unable to be there. I know that I committed to being on the committee and carry out the duties and functions of that position. But based on my current workload and my family schedule and all that, I'm sorry, I'm unable at this time to carry that out. Perhaps the next round is the next round of service. Perhaps this is something you've committed to for 6 months or for a year. You say, I can't do it this year. I know I said that I would, but I'm just unable to. It's too much on my plate. So when you are making new selections on next year, perhaps I'll be in a better position to carry out said duties and responsibilities if the position is still available. That's all. That's all. You don't need to go through a whole litany of things about it. Just simply tell the truth. You know, um, I'm late for work this morning because I overslept. Don't blame it on the bus and don't blame it on the weather, all of those things. My car didn't start this morning. If your car, in fact, didn't start, then call right away. I'm probably going to be late. Honesty allows you freedom of not having to remember what you said previously. Oh my gosh, Sister Rita, that is so true. Because when we start telling untruths or when we start making up stories, we do have to remember what we said. And because when you have to add to that later or if we recall to your memory and you don't remember what you said, you don't remember what untruths you told, you could be caught in the crosswires. And people take note of those things. People take note of those things. So, again, I was saying if your car really didn't start, then call right away. Call your boss right away and say, hey, you know what? It's really cold this morning. My car didn't start. I may be a little bit late. I may be running behind schedule on this morning, just to give you a heads up. I've been in that situation before, and especially when you're going to work and you're relieving someone else. The person that you're relieving, they want to go home. If they've been there for however long your shift is, 8 hours, 10, 12, they want to go home too. So be considerate, be honest, be respectful of their time as well. So you see how these three all fit together: honesty, consideration, and respect. And these are just three of the basic tenets of etiquette that we should all exercise in our lives every single day. So again, when you're talking about the difference between manners and etiquette, Manners are the principles being carried out. So if you're going to say it simply, manners are oftentimes the how, and principles are the why. And oftentimes we know these things already. We are aware of these things already, but sometimes we doubt ourselves, and sometimes we just simply may freeze, wondering what is really the right thing to do in this moment. So, these things are really easy enough to remember when you put your mind to it, that you're going to remember these things and that you're going to carry them out, that you're going to be considerate, you're going to be honest, you're going to be respectful. Even if you're not thinking of these things in the manner of etiquette, just think about them as the basic principles of life. Think about how you would want another person to approach you in that situation. You want someone to be respectful to you. You want people to be honest and tell you the truth. And you want people to be considerate of you, whether or not you're comfortable, considerate of your feelings, your thoughts, and your actions. So those, just think of those as basic principles of life, and it's easy to carry those things out. Right? So I want to thank you all for joining me this morning. But this also is kind of a precursor to a book that I am completing that will go on sale. You've heard me talking about it a little bit. But we're in the editing process right now of a book that I'm writing, my first etiquette book, 10 etiquette tips that you already know, but that's the title of the book, 10 etiquette tips that you already know, but. So the book is kind of like this show on this morning. It's just giving a little bit of information about 10, I think, of the top things that I get asked, and other etiquette consultants as well, concerning manners and etiquette and protocols. Dining etiquette is probably the number one questions that I get asked about all the time. This question I said is probably number two. It's probably neck and neck. And then just simple other things, how you behave in other situations, gift giving, how you behave at dinner parties, wedding invitations or party invitations, how to respond, what is the proper protocol. Those are just some of the things that are going to be that are addressed in the book. And you'll receive more information. I'll come on and let you know when we're done with the editing process and when the book is going to go on sale. You'll be able to get the book in e-book format, and you can also purchase it as a paperback. It's a short book. It's a really quick read. It's meant to be a reference guide for those tips, again, that you already know or that you might not know. Sometimes you might not know, but it's a quick read, and you can just refer to the book. The ebook, of course, digitally, you can pull it up on your phone or on your tablet or what have you, and have it for quick and easy reference, especially when you find yourself in a situation right then and there, and you're wondering, what are all these glasses? What do they all mean? Why do I have two wine glasses and a water glass? And there's coffee too. Why are there 5 forks? Oh my gosh. It can be overwhelming in situations like that. But when you know where everything goes and why it's there, it's really very simple to put it all together. Listen, this is Lady Victoria with Victoria School of Etiquette, your etiquette educator, where we offer a solution to your etiquette dilemmas. Please like and share across your various social media platforms. I'm very appreciative of that. And I want to wish you all a very blessed Monday. Take these points with you on today and actively make sure that you carry them out in your situations and environments that you are in on today. If you have any questions, please feel free to tag me here. You can also go to my Instagram page. I am Victoria School of Etiquette across all my social media platforms. You can send me a question via email, vsetc16@gmail.com. Go to my website and look at my website and see some of the classes and courses that we have to offer. We're going to be doing a reopening again for in-person classes on a limited basis, and you will hear more information about that. This is the month of February, so I'm wishing everyone an abundance of love, first with God the Father, and then in your marriages and in your relationships as well. So you all have a wonderfully blessed day. Lady Victoria chatting with you on this morning. Until the next time, be blessed. Bye for now.